Good morning students. This is 12th standard botany video class. In this video class, we are going to continue the lesson Asexual and Sexual Reproduction in Plants. Dear students, this is Unit 6 Reproduction in Plants, Chapter 1 Asexual and Sexual Reproduction in Plants. In this lesson, we have already seen what is reproduction, two types of reproduction, that is asexual and sexual reproduction in plants. What is asexual reproduction? That is without the fusion of gametes, the new individuals are formed. That process is called asexual reproduction. This is occur in lower plants. Some higher plants is also showing asexual mode of reproduction, that is divided into two types. One is vegetative method, another one is the conventional method. Vegetative method is again divided into natural vegetative method and artificial vegetative method. Then another one, conventional method and modern method. Conventional means a method which is used for long time, that is பாரம்பரிய முறை அப்படினு சொல்வாங்க. That is said to be conventional method. Next one, modern method, that is by using the science and technology methods or principles to produce the new individuals. So that one we have seen in the previous video class, and also we have started sexual reproduction. Flower is the reproductive organ which contains different whorls. Sexual reproduction in higher plants occur in three stages: pre-fertilization, fertilization and post-fertilization. Pre-fertilization events, the first one is the male reproductive organ, that is androecium. Then male gametophyte, microsporogenesis, formation of microspore, TS of anther. TS of anther consists of three important regions: anther wall, anther cavity or locule, and connective tissue. Anther wall consists of four layers: epidermis, endothecium, middle layer, and tapetum. Tapetum divided into three types: secretive, invasive, and amoeboid tapetum, and functions of tapetum. Then we have seen anther cavity and connective tissue. Next one is the microspore and pollens. So microspore, which is formed in the male gametophyte, how these pollen grains which are reaching into the stigma of the gynoecium. Then how fertilization is occur in higher plants. That and all we are going to see in this video. Dear students, sexual reproduction. What is sexual reproduction? Newly formed organisms are produced, or new individuals or offsprings which are produced by the fusion of male gametes and female gametes to form a diploid zygote. This diploid zygote developed into a new individual. That is said to be sexual reproduction, which is seen in all the higher plants. Now we are going to see microspore and pollen grains. Microspore is the product of meiotic division of microspore mother cell. Microspore is otherwise named as pollen grains. We all know that one. in the flower at the tip of the filament. They are having the yellow color powder. Yellow color structure is called anther. When you crush the anther, our fingers are modified into or changed into yellow color powdery substance. That is said to be the pollen grains. These pollen grains are microspore. It's produced from the meiotic cell division of the microspore mother cell. So this microspore afterwards produce the pollen grains. So these microspores have the life-giving substance is called protoplast or protoplasm, surrounded by a cell wall which is fully developed. Another one, the pollen protoplast consists of, that means microspore protoplast consists of dense cytoplasm and the centrally located nucleus. So it's a basic one. All the cell which is made up of cell wall which is surrounded the protoplasmic region or protoplasm. The protoplasm divided into two regions. One is the cytoplasm, another one is the central region is called a nucleus. Likewise, the pollen grains is also surrounded by a cell wall. At the center they are having protoplasm which is divided into two regions. Cytoplasm, that is dense cytoplasm. Abdina adarthiya dense cytoplasm and nucleus which is present at the center. The wall of the pollen grains is divided into two. The outermost one is named as exine, which is hardy and thorny. It's very hard. Innermost layer is called intine. Intine is very thin, uniform, and is made up of pectin, hemicellulose, cellulose, callose, and other some kinds of protein. But the outermost layer, exine, which is hardy, irregular in shape, but intine, which is very thin, uniformly shaped or arranged, made up of different chemical substance called pectin, hemicellulose, cellulose, callose, and proteins. The outermost layer of the pollen grain is called exine, which contain chemical substance called cellulose. Not only that, they are having some pollen wall materials. This one we already studied in the functions of tapetum. Pollen wall substances such as sporopollenin and pollen kit. When compared to intine, exine is not uniform and it's thin in some other areas and other areas it is thick. The thin areas which is present in the exine are small and round shaped, which is called germ pore. Or this germ pore when elongated, it is called as furrow. It grows towards the center, means it is named as furrow. So, the outer surface of the exine, which are having the thin region in somewhat areas, those areas are small, round in shape, which is named as germ pore, or it may be elongated towards the center, which is named as furrow. So this region is associated with germination of pollen grains. So this minute germ pore only absorbing the water substance, then it will be germinate into a new young seedlings or young plant. The other surface of the exines are either smooth or sculptured in various pattern or in different pattern. In some other plants it may be rod-like, that is look like a scale, ella kuchi appdin sollalam. Grooved, that means wavy nature. Warty, that is dry. Or it may be punctuate, that is comma shaped. Or exclamatory symbol like this. Or it may be different shape. So rod-like, grooved, warty, punctuate, etc. The sculpturing pattern is used in the plant identification and the classification. So the sculpture nature of the exine may be vary in the different plants, pollen grains. So this is the one of the character while classifying the plants and also identifying the plants. So this pollen character is also taken place while classifying the plants. That is called taxonomy. You have already studied in 11th standard. So this is the structure of a microspore or pollen grain. Dear students, see the diagram. That E diagram only, which are showing the proper pollen grain. A is also showing the pollen grain, which is oval in shape. That is outer exine is hardy or wavy nature or sculpturist nature. Some region, the wavy nature which grow towards or extended larger or grow towards the center, which forms the furrow. A small round shaped pore is called a germ pore. At the center, they are having the protoplast. Protoplast is surrounded by another layer is called intine. Thus intine is smooth and also regular in shape. So this protoplast divided into two regions. One is the dense cytoplasm and another one is the central nucleus. So this is the structure of a microspore or pollen grain. The shape of the pollen grain varies from species to species. It may be globose, that means oval shaped, ellipsoid, fusiform, lobed, angular or crescent shape. So these are all the different shape of the pollen grains. The size of the pollen grains is also varies from 10 micrometer in myosotis to 200 micrometer in member of the family is Cucurbitaceae and Nyctaginaceae. Dear students, kindly underline these words. The size of the pollen grains vary from 10 micrometers, example myosotis, to 200 micrometer, example the family members of Nyctaginaceae and Cucurbitaceae. So this is the structure and the shape of the pollen grains. Next, we are going to see the pollen wall material, that is sporopollenin and pollen kit. And another one is the tryphine with some kinds of proteinaceous substance. This is all which is present in the pollen grain wall. They are also doing certain function in the pollen grain wall. First one, sporopollenin. The sporopollenin is contributed by both pollen, cytoplasm and tapetum. Tapetum is the innermost layer and cytoplasm which is present in the protoplasmic region. So both cytoplasm and tapetal layer which is responsible for the formation of sporopollenin in the pollen wall. This sporopollenin is derived from carotenoids, is a chemical, and also the sporopollen is resistant to the physical and biological decomposition, and also it will be withstand high temperature, and it is resistant to strong acid, alkali and enzyme action. Hence, this sporopollenin preserves the pollen for long period in fossil deposits for future use and also identification and classification of the plants in taxonomy subject. Not only that, the sporopollenin protects pollen during its journey from anther to stigma. So this is the important paragraph and also important 3-mark question also. Kindly note down in your textbook or a classwork note, write a short note on sporopollenin. Sporopollenin is a cell wall, that is pollen wall material which is derived from cytoplasm and tapetal layer. It is derived from a chemical substance is called, that is photosynthetic substance is called carotenoid. It is resistant to physical and biological decomposition. It withstands high temperature, resistant to strong acid, alkali and enzyme action. Due to these activities, this sporopollenin preserves the pollen for longer period in fossil deposits. And it also protects the pollen during its journey from anther to the stigma. That is, what is that one? Pollination. Transfer of pollen grains from anther to the stigma of a flower. It's said to be the pollination. At the time of pollination is also the sporopollenin which is helping the pollen grains. So this is the important one. Another cell wall material is pollen kit. This pollen kit is also contributed by tapetum layer and colored pigments such as yellow or orange, which is made up of carotenoid and flavonoids. Carotenoids or flavonoids. This pollen kit is the oily layer forming thick viscous coating over pollen surface. So this pollen kit only forming the thick oily coating viscous layer outer to the pollen cell wall. So this oily substance, while shining in the sunlight, so that pollen insects and other kinds of pests attracted by the pollen grains. There is one kind of function of pollen kit. Another one, it protects the pollen grains damage from ultraviolet radiation. So first one, due to the presentation of oily viscous coating layer, it attracts the insects for pollination. Another one, it protects the pollen grains from ultraviolet radiation. Dear students, like sporopollenin, pollen kit is also important, very very important. 3-mark question and a 2-mark question. What is pollen kit? Or write a short notes on pollen kit. What is the answer? It is derived from tapetal layer. It is consists of colored pigments such as yellow and orange, made up of carotenoid or flavonoid. It is a oily layer forming thick viscous coating outer to the pollen wall. Due to this oily nature, it attracts the insects for pollination. That is one of the function. Another function is it prevents the pollen grains from ultraviolet radiation. Dear students, see the do you know paragraph. What is bee pollen? So bee pollen is the natural substance. It contains high protein, carbohydrate, trace amount of minerals and vitamins. Therefore, this bee pollen is used as a dietary supplement and sold as pollen tablets and syrup. So this bee pollen increase the performance of athletes, race horses, and also heals the wound clear caused by burns. The study of honey pollen is called melitopaleontology. It's important, one more question. The study of honey pollen is called melitopaleontology. Dash. The study of honey pollen is named as dash. That is said to be, what is that one? Melitopaleontology. So this is also important, two more question. What is bee pollen? What are all the uses of bee pollen? It is a natural substance. It contains protein, carbohydrate, trace amount of minerals and vitamins. It is a dietary supplement and is sold as in the form of pollen tablet and syrup. So these tablet and syrups are used by athletes, race horses, and also this bee pollen is used to heal the wound caused by burn. The study of honey pollen is named as melitopaleontology. Generally, paleontology means study of pollen grains. Here we are going to study about the honey pollen. So, the study of honey pollen is named as melitopaleontology. Next one is another important two more question. What is paleontology? Now only I told you. Simply, the study of pollen grains is said to be paleontology. So this paleontology helps to identify the distribution of coal. இங்கெல்லாம் நிலக்கரி இருக்கு அப்படின்றத we can able to identify it. And locate the oil fields. Oil fields is also identified by paleontology. That means pollen grains. Pollen grains reflects the vegetation of the area. What is the vegetation which is present in particular area is also reflected by pollen grains. That is paleontology. It is about pollen grains. Next paragraph is important. Two more question. What is cryopreservation? Not only that, this cryopreservation we will learn in the 5th lesson. It's an important 5 mark and 3 mark question. Write a short notes on cryopreservation. What is cryopreservation? It is a method to store the seed, pollen grains, DNA, gene. Likewise, some important plant parts are stored in the liquid nitrogen under minus 196 degree Celsius is called cryopreservation. And also, these materials are stored in a viable condition. Viable condition means at any time it can able to germinate into a new individual. If you are storing pollen grains means the pollen grains which is responsible for fertilization process. If you are storing seed means the seed which are having the capacity to germinate and to produce the new individual. Likewise, if you are storing the DNA material, the DNA is also responsible for do the metabolic activities in the plant parts. So these are all the different organs stored in the liquid nitrogen at minus 196 degree Celsius for further use or future use. That process is called cryopreservation. Storing of pollen grains by using the cryopreservation method is economically very important for plant breeding purposes. That means we have to produce the newly formed crop by hybrid together. That process is called hybridization. That process which occur in the book is called plant breeding. So this cryopreservation of pollen grains is also very much important for economical value and also plant breeding programs. So this is another important 2 mark and 1 mark question. Dear students, up to this we have seen what is microspore or pollen grain, structure of a microspore or pollen grain, shape of the pollen grain and the size of the pollen grain. Size is important 1 mark question. The sizes varies from 10 micrometer to 200 micrometer. 10 micrometer example Myosotis and 200 micrometer example the member of the family Nyctaginaceae and Cucurbitaceae. Then we have seen the wall material of pollen grains, that is sporopollenin and pollen kit and their advantages. Now we are going to see the development of male gametophyte. So microspore, which is haploid, that is n number of chromosome, is the first cell of a male gametophyte. So the first cell of the male gametophyte is what? That one, microspore, which is diploid or haploid? Haploid in number. So the development of the male gametophyte is taken place inside the microsporangium. So microsporangium means otherwise named as anther lobe. Microsporangium or anther. Okay. The nucleus of the microspore, that means microspore having the n number of chromosome, that is haploid. Haploid means how many nucleus is there? Only one nucleus. That's why they are given the next line. The nucleus of the microspore undergo mitotic cell division to form two cells. One is the vegetative cell, another one is the generative cell, or it may be nucleus. Vegetative nucleus or generative nucleus. A wall which is laid between the generative nucleus to forming the two unequal cells. That means the generative cell undergo mitotic division to form a two unequal cells. One is the large with irregular nucleus with the abundant of food reserve material. Listen, dear students, once again, microspore which are having only one nucleus, which undergo mitotic division, form two cells. One is the vegetative cell, another one is the generative cell. This generative cell alone undergo mitotic cell division to form two unequal cells. One of the cell is large, irregular, with a nucleus having large amount of abundant reserved food material. That means it contains large amount of food material. is called vegetative cell. And a small generative cell. So the vegetative cell, which are having large amount of reserved food material, and the generative cell is very small cell. So the microspore undergo mitotic cell division. Dear students, the microspore having the haploid nucleus which undergo mitotic cell division to form two nucleus. One is the vegetative nucleus, another one is the generative nucleus. A wall which separates the generative nucleus and vegetative nucleus. Vegetative nucleus is larger in size and contains large amount of abundant reserved food material. The generative cell is very small. At this stage only, the pollen grains which is released from the anther lobe. This stage is called two-celled stage. What is that one? One is the vegetative cell, another one is the generative cell. But in some of the plants, the generative cell again undergo mitotic cell division to form two-celled stage again. That's why I told you generative cell alone undergo mitotic cell division to form a two cells. So now at this stage the pollen grains are three-celled stage. That one happened in some kinds of plants only, but 60% of the angiospermic plants, the pollen grains are liberated from the anther at two-celled stage. Further, the growth of the male gametophyte occurs only if the pollen reaches the right stigma. It's the next stage. At the time of two-celled stage, the pollen which is liberated from the anther and it reaches to the correct stigma or right stigma. Once it reaching the stigma, it absorbs water through the germ pore and swells. The inner side of the wall, that is intine, it grows as a pollen tube through the germ pore. In case the pollen is liberated at the two-celled stage, the generative cell again divided into two cell, that is two male cell or a male gametes or sperms before reaching the embryo sac or ovule of an embryo sac. That is the development of male gametophyte in the microspore. Dear students, I hope have you all understood how male gametophyte which is produced inside the microspore. Dear students, see the diagram. First one is the pollen grain, exine, intine, protoplasm, nucleus and cytoplasm. Germ pore is present in the exine. Second one, a dense cytoplasm. A small vacuole is also present inner side of the cytoplasm. Then the third diagram, a single haploid nucleus which is present inner side of the microspore undergo mitotic cell division to form two nucleus. The two nucleus are irregular in position. Vegetative cell is large and the generative cell is small due to the wall formation between the generative cell and the vegetative cell. Next one, at this two-celled stage only, the pollen grains are liberated from the anther lobe. Before reaching to the right stigma, the outer exine of the pollen grain absorbs water or moisture and swells up. So through the germ pore, the intine moves as a pollen tube. Once the pollen tube is produced, the generative cell undergo mitotic cell division to produce two male gametes. So this pollen grains with the two male gametes or male gametophyte only reaches to the embryo sac of an ovule. After that, these male gametes fuses with the egg. Another one is the polar nuclei to form the fertilization process. So that fertilization process and all we will see in the next video class. Up to this, I conclude my video. If you are having any doubt, please ask me over phone. God bless you. All the best, children.